I'm about to explain a problem to you that's at the root of all science. Most philosophers consider this unsolved and believe that perhaps it'll never be solved. It's called the problem of induction. There are many kinds of reasoning, but two main ones are called deductive and inductive reasoning. Deductive reasoning is associated with Sherlock Holmes. We like deductive reasoning because the conclusion always has to follow if the premises are true. Here's an example. All men are mortal. Socrates is a man. Therefore, Socrates is mortal. Basic hard logic works every time. Inductive reasoning, though, is a bit weaker. An example might be, I've met this person a few times and they've been nice to me every time, therefore I believe that they're a nice person. Or more formally, I see B follow A every time, so I believe that B, as a law, has to always follow A. Now, as I'm sure we all know from our own personal experience, inductive reasoning doesn't guarantee its conclusions. Just because you see a pattern doesn't mean it's going to be repeated forever. It doesn't mean it's a law. The problem is, all of our scientific knowledge, all of our laws of nature, seem to be based on inductive reasoning. Our laws of gravity, electromagnetism, light, all work for the patterns we've seen previously. But they all rely on the assumption that that pattern's going to continue. You might be thinking, no, these are laws, that's different from like a pattern. But how do we know? We haven't seen these laws in a law book. We've just invented them to explain the evidence that we've seen so far. And if the history of science has taught us anything, a new discovery can cause us to rewrite the textbooks about everything at any time. This idea really starts to mess with you if you start to think about it, because humans very naturally use inductive reasoning. Think about the way you learned not to touch a hot pan or trip over. It was from having an experience, associating it with a negative outcome, and then assuming that that pattern would repeat if you did it again, so you just didn't do it. And the reverse is true. We do most things because we've had a positive experience beforehand and we expect that will be repeated. Human instinct is fundamentally inductive, and inductive logic doesn't guarantee the outcome. So if induction is at the heart of all science, how can we have faith that science is going to work tomorrow? Most scientists and philosophers, when they hear this problem, despair a little bit and basically say that you have to assume on some level that the universe is going to hold to certain patterns, that the past in some way will resemble the future. But there was one philosopher who thought they found a solution. More on that next time.